I'm not trying to be facetious. Like I'm not trying to be trite. But you know how people always say, "Oh, peace on earth. That's what I want." Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and it is kind of a bit of a hack for getting peace on earth, and it's not just a trick. Like, it's actually a reality, but most of us don't believe it, so we don't take action on it, and so look around. What we have is what we have. So that's what we're going to explore today. Sound good? Sound like, I don't know, curious at the very least? Yeah, cool. So I'm Kylie Ansett, and I am the Alignment Whisperer, which means I help you get into alignment with your inner wisdom, your inner power, that inner intuition voice that has all of your knowledge and power. So my role is to help you align with that so that you can live a life of purpose, because at the end of the day, that's all that I think is important. The rest of it, it's just so much wrapping paper. So I'm coming to you from beautiful Sydney, Australia, and this is your daily dose of alignment. So peace on earth, okay, it is a big topic, and that's because when we say those words, we think of like bombs falling in countries and horrific things happening all over the world, and power plays and governments and people starving people and the spoils of war and all that stuff. I guess if you turn on the evening news, which I literally never ever do, but for those of you that do, you probably get a very visual representation of what peace on earth is not. And I may not watch it on the news, but I'm well and truly aware of what goes on. Just not as told by the MSN. I'm just aware of it from different perspectives. So anyway, this is the thing. People who have a good heart and who are compassionate and loving and want the best for themselves and for others, this is often something that they at least pay lip service to, peace on earth. And then some of them actually go out and, go on marches and rallies and like shake their fists and vote with their dollars to, ban this company or that government or whatever. And then some people go to the country and provide aid, and they actually put their physical body where their aspirations are. So there's lots of different ways that this takes shape. For most of us, it's just a feeling that we have. Like for most of us who aren't actually living in what the nightly news would consider a place that doesn't have peace. Of course, living here in Australia, very blessed to experience peace on a military way. But here's the thing. From the perspective of mindset, from the perspective of what we actually have control over. So if you see these things on the news, these terrible events that are happening in other countries, and they pull on your heartstrings and they upset you and they make you feel angry and anxious and stressed and upset on behalf of these people, or angry at the governments that are perpetrating it, or devastated on behalf of the people who are being torn apart, then what's happened is you have just given up your inner peace. You have just given up the one thing you do have control over, because at the end of the day, you don't have control over what anybody else is doing, let alone a government, let alone like some other far-flung country. You don't have control over that. The only thing you do have control of is your own emotions, your own feelings. Now, as soon as you feel those emotions, you've just given up your peace. Your inner peace has now been given away and has been replaced by inner anxiety and inner stress and inner blah, 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 or whatever, right? And that is the key to this. Now, I am not saying just sit in a cave and gaze at your navel and, you know, the troubles of the world will go away. No. What I am saying, though, is any change on a large scale starts with individuals. I think we can all agree with that. And those individuals have to be coming from the place of the solution, not the problem. And that's what gets so screwed up. I mean, how long has the peace movement, if that's even a movement, or the anti-war movement, which is just crazy, like that's just such a screwed up way of putting it. But how long have these movements been around? I mean, they kind of, you know, and have they worked? Like, do we not have on a worldwide scale even worse situations than we've ever had? Is it not worse now than it was in the 60s, like by about 1 billion%, right? So clearly they're not working. And the way, and I guess it sounds a bit arrogant that I sit here in my little room and tell people how to run the world. But anyway, this is just a concept for you to put in your pipe and smoke, if you're that way inclined. It's just a concept for you to play around with, because you cannot find a solution by focusing on the problem. Now, that doesn't mean that you hide from the problem. Now, I said I don't watch the nightly news and so on, but I don't do that because I'm hiding from the problem. I do that because I prefer to get my information from less biased sources. So I do get information about these things, but I get it from places that I choose. So I'm very intentional with where I get my information, and it sure as hell is not the mainstream media. But I still find out information about these things, you know, if I'm interested in them. Okay, so it's not about hiding your head in the sand and being the ostrich and all that. But the thing is that if you, like, no matter where you get your information from, if you see these things and the emotion they invoke in you is one of anger, stress, anxiety, sadness, from that place, number one, you've just given up your own inner peace. So there's now less peace in the world than what there was 10 minutes ago, because that's one more person that doesn't have peace in their heart. So there's less peace. That's number one. But number two, any solution that is possible to these situations, whether it is some far-flung country that's experiencing, you know, a devastating experience, or whether it's your own home, because let's face it, it's all very well to want peace in you know, the Middle East, and you've got massive wars going on in your own backyard with your neighbors or with your family or your husband, you know, like that's a little bit ironic. But so no solution will come from focusing on the problem. Let's bring it a bit closer to home, because I think talking about these world stage topics kind of keeps it at a distance. If we're not experiencing it personally, or we don't know someone who's experiencing it personally, then it is just, you know, something over there. But a fight with your loved one, someone that you care about, that you're at loggerheads with, if you sit there and focus on the problem, they did this, they said that, they, you know, I want this, it's not like I want it to be, and, you know, I hate it when it's like this, and you focus on the problem, which is what we usually do. You focus on the problem, you have the vibration you're putting out is one of resistance. And I've spoken a lot about resistance and how it brings on everything from illnesses to everything. you have resistance, and from that place, your ability to find a solution, that incredible power, limitless power of your mind. So each of us, each and every one of us, in our mind, in our hearts, we have access to limitless possibilities, the ability to create anything and everything. Everything you look around and see, every beautiful, amazing thing that's been man-made has been created by someone having a thought about it. And those thoughts didn't come from focusing on the problem. Now, a problem may have started the process. So that may be the beginning, but it's not the same vibration that the solution comes from. Think of how many times we hear about in science, like great discoveries, where the person who made the discovery, that it came to them when they walked away from the laboratory and they went and had a bath or something, and eureka. That's where those inspired, creative, like aha moments come from. They come from a place of being completely in the vibrational place of solution and the vibrational place of the energy of the solution you want. So we're talking about peace on earth. That's what we started talking about. To find peace on earth, the idea would be to get into that state internally and be in that place and be in the energy and the vibrational pattern of peace. And that's peace even when someone cuts you off in traffic, and peace even when you get ripped off at the grocery store, and peace even when your kid like spills everything or steals your money, or your best friend sleeps with your husband, whatever. Like peace, vibrating with that state of peace, not blanked out ostrich head in the sand, ignoring, but the ability to be able to hold that vibration. Now, from that place, from that beautiful place, that's actually where you're going to get all of the solutions to your own personal problems. And if you are focusing on problems of the world, like peace on earth, that's the vibration that you're going to get the solution for that as well. It all starts with what's going on internally. So I hope you've kind of got some inspiration from that. And there is one other thing I wanted to share with you, which has got nothing to do with peace on earth whatsoever, but it is my favorite thing, and that's this. So this is green smoothie. Now, you've probably heard me talk about green smoothies before, and I'm going to be showing you how to make one in a couple of days probably. But let me tell you a bit about green smoothies, because every time I make a green smoothie, I know this has got nothing to do with peace on earth, but I just had to tell you because I only just made it, and every time I make one, they're delicious. They always work out. Sometimes they're yummier than others. And here's my trick for it. First of all, I like to put lots of fruit in it. That helps. And I like to put lots of greens in it too, but I don't put really strong tasting greens. Like I wouldn't put basil in it, or not too much basil, or rocket. If I put those in, only just like one or two. But mainly it's going to be things like parsley and kale, which are really not too strong tasting. So green smoothies, you're going to hear more about them. And the other thing you're going to hear more about is what's happening next week. Now, if you're not in the group Align, you need to go check out that group, because every day next week we're going to be talking about specific techniques, not just concepts, but actual techniques that you can apply that are going to help you to overcome and deal with physical and mental or emotional pain. So specific techniques to help you overcome pain. Now, we were talking about peace on earth in the beginning, and how peace on earth is only going to be achieved when we are able to achieve peace within ourselves, and how the solution to any discord comes from a place of accord. accordance. Anyway, the opposite of discord. It comes from that place. So how can you have a peace and non-stressful feeling internally if you're in physical, emotional, or mental pain, right? How can you feel at ease if you're, especially physically, but actually, especially any of them, emotionally or mentally stressed? If you're feeling any of those, it's incredibly hard to get into that inner place of calm. And then forget peace on earth, you can't even have, peace in your own, living room. So that's what we're going to be looking at, specific techniques, actionable techniques that you can apply. So does that sound good or what? And I promise you, at one of the days I'm going to, on camera live, be making a green smoothie, and you'll be able to see how it goes down, and how easy it is. And so that's next week. That starts next week, which is the 20, I think it's the 24th. Anyway, you'll be hearing more about it, and I hope you join. It's going to be happening live in the group Align. So if you want to see it, you just click on the group and ask to join. It's free. So you just have to be part of the group, and it's a place in that group. Not only are we going to be doing that, but there's other cool things, other alignment things. That's why it's called Align. Anyway, have an awesome day, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye.